Olivia. As I finished getting ready for the party, I stared at my reflection in the mirror and a stunning woman stared back at me. My blonde hair was styled into a messy updo with some loose strands falling down my face. The long red gown Alex and I had carefully selected a few days ago hugged my curves in all the right places. My bright blue eyes sparkled like gold against the bold of the red gown. I looked confident and undeniably sexy. Even if everything was falling apart, the least I could do was to look stunning in public. Satisfied with my look, I wore my pair of gold stilettos and matched it with my gold bag. Alex had already told me we had 30 minutes to leave, so I went downstairs immediately after I was done with my makeup. We were going to the party together. "You look so beautiful," he complimented me as I got into the back of the car. I didn't respond and just managed a half smile. I was getting divorced, so there was no need for me to get flattered by his compliments. He didn't look bad himself. He looked good in his impeccable white tuxedo, his eyes gleaming with a charm that once captivated me. He shut the door and walked to the other side of the car, and after he got in, the driver started the car and drove out of the compound. The ride was silent for most parts until Alex spoke. "Where did you go earlier today?" he asked, his eyes fixed on me. "I went to do my hair and had lunch with Sandra after we left the salon." My eyes were glued to my phone. "Okay," he replied in a calm voice. "Why didn't you protest against signing the divorce papers?" My eyebrows furrowed at the question. I tried to stop him, but he was set in his decision. There was nothing I could do about that. I wasn't going to stay around a man that didn't want me. "Are you confused?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "You gave me the papers to sign, right? You also said you had made your decision." Alex replied with a nod. "Yes, but you gave in so easily. Seems like it was what you wanted all along," he said, and I cast him a dirty look. Was he out of his mind? "Alex, you practically said we should pretend like everything is okay, so I don't see any reason why you should be starting shit on our way to the party." Alex shrugged. Despite what he was saying, he seemed so unbothered. "I just want to understand, you seemed so willing to end our marriage without a fight." I wanted to talk about it. I wanted us to talk about everything, but it wasn't the right moment because if we did, the party was going to be ruined for me. "Can we talk about this after the party?" "If you say so," Alex replied, and the car fell silent again. After a few more minutes, we arrived at our destination. A few cars were already parked outside, so it meant the party had already started without us. Alex got out of the car and extended his hands to me, so I would go out after him. We were about to put on a show, pretending to be a perfect couple for the sake of our reputation. As we entered the hall, all eyes were on us. Alex smiled and waved at the people who greeted him. I also managed a fake smile, acting like everything was all right when I was aching inside. I saw some familiar faces. Most of the people in attendance were Alex's business partners and family. Everybody looked elegant and stunning. Alex and I walked hand in hand as we made our way to our designated seats. I looked around the hall to see if I could find Sandra. I couldn't see her, so I brought out my phone from my bag and sent her a text, telling her to hurry up. I needed her by my side to be able to get through the night. The party had started and Alex left me to mingle with some other guests. When he left, I poured myself some wine from the bottle. As I sipped the wine, I let myself enjoy the soft music, forgetting about all my problems. Suddenly, I felt someone tap me on my back. I turned back and realized it was Sandra. "Hey, baby," I said with a wide smile and gave her a side hug. "I'm so glad you're here. What took you so long?" I asked loud enough so she could hear over the music. "You should be used to it by now," she said with a chuckle as she settled down on the empty chair beside me. I had asked the event planner to add Sandra to our table when we were going over the seating chart. "Anyways, I'm glad you're here." Sandra and I were alone for a while, drinking, eating, and chatting about random things. A few moments later, the MC at the event announced that Alex and I should get ready for the couple's dance in a few minutes. It was something Alex and I always did whenever his company was having an event, but I couldn't help but roll my eyes when he announced it. When Sandra saw the look on my face, she reached out to my hands and gave me a comforting squeeze. While waiting for the dance, I realized my sister had arrived at the party. I watched her as she walked into the entrance. I could tell she was looking for me with the way her eyes darted across the crowd. I could see the relief in her face when she saw me waving at her, gesturing for her to come over to our table. Amanda looked so pretty in her shiny gold dress. "Hey, I've been trying to reach you," she said as she approached the table. Amanda and Sandra exchanged pleasantries before she turned back to me again. "Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't call you back. A lot happened, so it slipped my mind." I apologized. I had seen several calls from Amanda the previous day, but I had forgotten to return them. I gestured for her to sit on the empty chair beside us, and as she settled down, she brought out her phone and showed me a photo. I felt a ripple in my chest as I looked at the photo. I couldn't believe my eyes, and I didn't want it to be true.